What's good, Internet? Welcome to the Back Kibble Podcast. I'm your host, dumbjake, and with me today is T-Fan Page 101. You are such a bastard. Can I just say that? You're a bastard.
You're a smelly. You go take a bath.
Why are you always so quiet at the beginning?
Go take a bath.
Energy. Articulation. You know that thing you do? Articulation, do that, but with the intro.
Did someone say articulation?
And we're also joined by the biggest hater on the internet, PerspectiveEnd.
Did y'all know that there's a Pennywise Chia Pet?
Pennywise,
is this gonna be your running gag talking about Chia Pets?
No, it's just gonna be like these first two times because I just had the page still open and I was like, oh right. There's also apparently a Predator Chia Pet and it looks so stupid.
Save that for next time.
Oh my god.
What's it?
I'm going to. You all need to see this.
What's a Predator Chia Pet look like? Jared Fogle?
I was about to say Jared Fogle, you son of a bitch.
Look at his face.
Oh my god! Whoa!
He looks like a mutated Weird Al.
Yeah, something ain't right about this boy.
That boy ain't right.
Well, welcome to the show. This is our first official episode, and we are going to be talking about the 2007 classic first live-action Transformers movie, directed by the one and only Michael Bay.
But first, we're sponsored by Reggae Predator.
I'm sorry, everyone. I still don't have a freaking brain network.
Thank God.
Camera.
Yeah, I still don't have a webcam.
He doesn't even have
I
a
do
face.
have one, but like trying to plug it in, my computer was like, no, I don't want to.
He doesn't even have a face. He hasn't stitched it up like Joker.
No, I have a face, but you can see it. My face actually looks exactly like my logo. I'm really ugly.
Actually, that was your face, was the Predator.
Oh shit! God damn it! How did you know I modeled?
Why were you naked?
If
it's a model of your head, why were you naked?
Are you not right now?
You're all right.
We are on camera, unlike someone.
I can't see your cameras, so.
All right, let me stand up for a second.
No. This video is about to get age restricted. Fun fact: Peter Cullen actually voiced the Predator in the first movie.
Indeed, he did. He's the guy who came up with the whole idea for what it sounds like.
Yeah, he's epic.
Fun fact:
Shout out Peter Cullen.
Frank Walker is not dead.
Yeah, and also Frank Welker is also not dead.
He's also not in this movie, right?
That's who I said.
You said Frank Walker.
It did sound like Walker, but I knew what you were. I mean, we're talking Transformers. Who's Frank Walker?
He's really getting stingy about how I pronounce words. What a bully.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking...
In the beginning, there was the cube.
You all knew that I was an asshole. Square. You invited me, and you know. You've seen my video.
There was
you know
Minecraft.
That I am the horrible, angry bastard triangle man, and that is it. That's all I am.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's no more depth. I am an evil bastard who hates everything and is cruel and mean to toys, and the toys cry. Like legit, based on the comments I get sometimes. Based on the comments.
In the beginning, there was a square.
Based on the comments I get sometimes, you think people legitimately think that the toys have feelings.
They do.
They do. It's like
God.
Toy Story.
They
you turn around and they're alive, man. Anyway, in the beginning there was the cube.
Yes.
Why don't we talk about like the first time everyone watched the movie?
Oh, that's a great point. Perspective, you're pulling your weight already in this podcast. So, I mean, my first memory, not about watching the movie, but seeing advertising for it, because it was a little bit before I was really using the internet. I kind of started using it around this time, but I'm pretty sure when I first saw advertising for it, I didn't even know what YouTube was.
Yeah.
I wasn't super young, but just young enough, and the internet was new enough that I didn't know yet. And the first thing I ever
You
saw
were a
was,
spry,
you know how
supple little
Walmart,
boy.
you know how Walmart has those like detectors at the front,
Yes.
and they'll put like advertising on it.
Yes.
The first thing I ever saw was the poster that's like the Earth and then the Autobot robot eye sort of over it, and it
Yeah.
has Transformers. Or it might have not even said Transformers. It might have said like something is coming or something like that.
747.
Yeah, one of those advertisements. And I remember being immediately gripped, like, whoa, is that live action Transformer? Is that real life Transformers?
How'd they get the robots to be a cast member?
Yeah.
How'd they call up Optimus Prime for that?
And the what you call it, the teaser trailer on Mars was another one I saw. I probably saw it in a movie. Like I don't know when they started showing that trailer.
I know
probably
it was
in
super
2006,
early because,
right?
Yeah, when I started getting into Transformers, it was around I want to say 2005, 2006. I think it was early 2006, and I remember seeing the website for the Transformers because it had Cybertron that you could rotate, even though Cybertron just looked like a lump of rocks with spikes on it. Didn't really look like anything.
Yeah.
But I remember that I saw that, and then a month later they had the teaser up on that page.
Yeah, nice. They changed it up to the movie from the cartoon. Yeah.
No, they had TransformersMovie.com.
Oh, okay. I also remember so there were some toys that came out before all the other toys that were of the protoform versions of Optimus and Starscream.
Fun fact,
And
sorry.
Yeah. No, they were called like preview version or something,
Yes.
right? Like they had special packaging. It was like magic seeing those in the store for the first time. But go ahead, Brian, sorry.
My first movie figure ever was the protoform Starscream, and then that led to all the figures up there and then over there.
Yeah.
And
Addiction.
these to Masterpiece, Bumblebee, and Barricade.
So I can say that my experience with like the lead up to the movie was a bit different than you guys, as you know, I'm obviously the longest running fan here.
Yeah, old.
I had actually
you're old.
I'd actually kind of gotten out of the Transformers back like right before Cybertron. Like the last figure I had for the longest time was just Cybertron Optimus, and then like I can't remember if I got Alternator, Ravage, and Hound before or after that, but it was one of those three figures. It was the last one I ever got for a long time. And then but I had always like I didn't hate the franchise or anything like that. I just wasn't like really getting the stuff anymore. And so I had been like since I was 12 been like there were like rumors about like they're working on a live action Transformers movie. And I was like, oh man. And then like the rumors started finally like really picking up. And like I was never like super online literate back in the age of dial-up internet. So I didn't like know a lot, but I was like, oh, okay. So the guy directing it is this guy called like Michael Bay, and this was like back in the day. Like if you looked up Michael Bay on like Google Images, you couldn't find shit. Like there was not a picture of the dude anywhere. The only thing I knew about Michael Bay was apparently he was one of the frat boys in Mystery Men.
Oh. Well, you know he directed Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2, right?
Yeah, no, you couldn't find pictures of the dude, and I was like, what does this guy look like?
Okay,
Well,
I see what
he
you're
was in Bad Boys too.
Because I know what Steven Spielberg looks like. I know what George Lucas looks like. I don't know what Michael Bay looks like. So I was like looking up trying to find out like more about the director and whatnot. And yeah, I was like clued into the movie being produced for a long time, and then like about a year before the movie came out, it was like it's coming, it's happening, the movie's basically finished. They filmed it all. It's going to be out like next year, and I found that online, and that was my experience of the lead up. And yeah.
So
Yeah.
apparently this movie had been in production or talks since 2003. So this movie has pretty much been kind of a process for more than 2 decades now. Or 2 decades ago, at least. And I remember seeing them in magazines that they were filming it. Like there was one that I had that came out in 2005 that showed Michael Bay directing it, and then all the ships and whatnot. You know, where they're doing it because they had the armies and navies and whatnot. But what I recall is when I got into Transformers Cybertron, that's when they teased about the movie heavily. That's when they actually got the promotional stuff. Because nowadays, you would get promotional stuff or teasers 6 months to even 2 months before a movie comes out. But back then, you would get them years in advance. You would get a teaser years in advance. So I remember the Mars thing. I also remember the first teaser trailer scared the crap out of me because they had the Ironhide robot over the pool and they gave him red eyes to make him scary.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they did. And I was like, Mom, I'm scared. But I remember that. God, it's so nostalgic. Like the Cybertron planet that I was talking about on the website. I remember a contest to where they had lines for Optimus Prime that you can enter, and you could win a couple of Transformers. I remember when they were promoting this on the streets in a video where they were also talking about the cast and which Transformers were going in, and that was the finalized cast. And they were just giving away classic toys because they didn't have any of the movie toys to give out. So they could only give out what was out last year. But yeah,
like
it's
Nerf
just,
gun Megatron.
yeah, and the classic Bumblebee and Starscream.
Hey, great figures.
But, man, it is so crazy to think of all the build-up to it, because it kind of feels like they were just trying to figure out what they want to do, not just as a film, but as their design. Because if you look at very early animatics, they're very spindly. All the parts aren't really lining up, or they're not attached. If you look at the concept art, there's so many different versions of Megatron's head, to where it looks closer to G1, or it looks, much sharper like the modern one. Different weapons, different characters. Like, I wish we had RC, but she got replaced by Ironhide because Michael Bay didn't like girl Transformers.
I think it was actually a different producer.
The RC design is really cool. If you've never, I'll put it on screen. It's a slick design. I kind of wish the one from Rise of the Beast looked like that. I like the Rise of the Beast RCs before the Defenders roll in, but I do like that sort of
no,
thing.
not the Defenders, the fucking Gooners.
Yeah, the Gooner. The
it
RC
is insane. Like she looks almost like that's so. It's so weird to me because she looks roughly as human between Bumblebee movie and Rise of the Beast, and then Rise of the Beast comes out, and all of a sudden, every motherfucker on this planet just came out. I was like, man, I want to bone that so bad. It's like, what happened?
Hey, hear me out.
No.
Okay.
No. I was about to because I forgot what we were talking about, but no, I don't want to hear you out.
Speaking of production of the movie, I remember hearing that Barricade wasn't even supposed to be in it, and instead it was going to be Prowl, and it was going to be an Autobot, obviously. And it makes sense when I saw the animatics I sent you, where Blackout is chasing Bumblebee. So I guess Blackout was meant to have a bigger role than just the intro. And
but then they changed that because Michael Bay liked the idea of evil cop.
Which, I mean,
it's kind of hard.
It kind of worked. I mean, that's pretty much the design everyone associates with.
Here's the problem: it works on a conceptual and thematic level, but at the same time, it does hamper the movie having any kind of real villain. There is no villain of the first movie. There is Blackout, who is doing his own thing. There is Barricade, who is doing his own thing, and then there's Megatron, who shows up for 5 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
Hey, I got some thoughts on that. We should get into the plot, though.
Well, we still haven't gotten into the actual seeing of it the first time. We've covered the going.
Honestly, I was so young, I kind of don't.
I remember seeing it close to my birthday. I don't know why I didn't go right away, but I saw clips online, so it was pretty much spoiled. But I still wanted to go see it.
Yeah.
But I remember beforehand, I was with someone, and they showed the Cloverfield trailer beforehand.
Yes,
That
I
was
remember seeing
awesome to watch.
that. Yeah, Cloverfield, I love that movie so much.
Me too. I love it.
Seeing that trailer was crazy. Kind of a weird trailer.
Yeah.
So
before Transformers.
I'm probably going to be the one who has a really interesting story about this because the reason I knew last time that the movie didn't come out on the 4th but on the 3rd is because I went and saw it on July 4th, which was the second day that it was out. And the reason I went out and saw it on that day I was like, okay, so like me and the one thing that me and my eldest brother shared in common were the fact that we both like the Transformers. And
nice.
I was like, he wanted to go see it, and he was pissed off that he wasn't going to be able to go see it for like extra weeks because he was a very angry dude. And he was like, oh man, we're never going to get into to see this movie. It's going to take forever for the crowds to die down. And I was like, no. The second day is July 4th. That means that if we go when the fireworks are up, and I was 17 at the time, so I'd seen fireworks enough times in my life, and he had seen fireworks enough times in his life. We were like, if we go when the fireworks are up, then we'll actually be able to get in. And he was like, you know what, you're right. So we go to the theater and we get our tickets. And then I was like, all right, let's go into the theater. We showed up like an hour and a half early just to make sure that we were, good. And then my brother was like, nah, I don't like people. I don't want to be, and I was going with my eldest brother. I was going with my eldest brother and my youngest brother. Or not my youngest brother, my younger brother. I only have one brother who's younger than me, so I guess he's both. Anyways, so I'm going
to make that confusing.
Yeah,
that would be youngest. You had it right.
Youngest and younger. Youngest implies that there's like a one between me and him.
I guess.
But there's not. Anyways, so we go. He's like, I don't want to go into the theater. I don't like being around people. I want to stay out here, and I just want to enjoy the air out here. And I was like, I mean, okay, fine. And so we all three of us like sit on a bench for an hour and like 20 minutes. Then he's like, all right, let's go. And we go inside, and then it turns out the line for the movie started forming inside the movie theater.
Oh no!
Really?
Yes. And so we got we didn't get the worst seats in the universe, but they were pretty bad. And that my brother, again being a very angry dude, that ruined the experience for him. He was so pissed off for the entire thing. He was just stewing. He wanted to leave, and it was like, no, we're gonna go see this. Like we spent the money already, and then because you decided that you didn't want to be inside the theater, you're not gonna ruin this for me. And so we went and saw it. And does anyone remember their initial reactions? Does anyone remember maybe you don't remember seeing it, but remember how you reacted?
Well, because most of it was spoiled online, I didn't really have much of a reaction. I was just excited to go there,
I became fully addicted to the Transformers franchise. I was in it already, I guess, but that's when I immersed myself in the online culture. TFW 2005, that's when I started using that.
Oh god, I remember.
The only thing I remember about seeing it was when Frenzy died, a bunch of people laughed when he said, oh shit.
I remember,
that's all I remember. That's really all I remember.
God, this is going way back, but I remember when the toys... I won't get too much on the toys, but I remember when early reviews were coming out, Cybertron had a photo album of, I think it was Ratchet and Starscream, and they had red on the face because it wasn't meant to be sold. It was like a prototype. And then, what else? TF Wire was a website that Bolt Matrix started with someone else. And both of them reviewed Scorponok and Starscream and Ratchet and Ironhide super early, which was
cool,
really awesome to see. And that's what kind of inspired me to also do reviews, was watching those reviews. Actually, the concept of a video review wasn't even in my mind until that point.
Yeah. I was definitely getting into the video reviews at this point. I mean, Pia with his Transformers animated reviews. That's when I got pretty deep into that stuff. But
Bolt Matrix is another one of my inspirations. He was one of the people who made me realize I could review figures. But
he's a ghost.
Man produced videos like a machine for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
But so for me, when I saw the movie, my initial reaction to it was that I liked the movie, but it was the first time I ever came out of a movie where I didn't quite know how I felt about it.
Yeah.
I like came out of it and I was like, everyone was like, "How was the movie?" I was like, "Oh, I liked it." But the movie was funnier than it had to be, and I didn't I didn't understand. Like I was trying to process it because that was a negative criticism, and I didn't understand. Like I was like, why am I saying this? Why am I feeling this way? And I realize
why
now.
Why are you saying that? Are you on Mojo? A little bit of Mojo?
I realize now that I was like, oh no, the movie was goofier than it should have been.
Yeah.
It wasn't funnier. It was
it's surprisingly goofy.
It was telling jokes that were, kind of beyond the pale, that were, reasonable, and also like now I also kind of process relatively racist.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff.
And then
are you telling me the Transformers movie starring Sam's useless friend, Mammy Bolivia, clown suit guy, weird cop, bald janitor from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Donuts, the Tooth Fairy, and Grandmama's Carpet is a really flawed movie?
Yeah, no, so going into my reaction to that movie, I still believe that I liked it. I was like, yeah, no, I like it. It was just like there was this was.
If I think too much, I'll believe it.
But so then I got the movie on DVD, and I would like watch that movie all the time. I just watched it over and over and over. And the second movie came out, and then I watched that, and I was like, I saw that in theaters, and it didn't really like leave an impression. And then I got the DVD for the second movie for like my birthday, and then I watched it again, and then I was like, oh wow, this is horrendous. This second movie is horrendous. I'll go back and I'll watch the first one, and then I went back and I watched the first one the same way I always do, where I would skip to the Scorponok in the desert fight scene where they shoot Scorponok with the warthogs, and then I turned it off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wait. I do that every time. I've like watched this movie all the way through like 2 or 3 times, and every other time I skip to this one fight and then I turn the movie off. Oh, I fucking hate this movie.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
Is that what we were building up to?
Yeah, it was a realization. I did not realize for like years. I watched that movie like over and over again for years, or not watched. I watched the one scene of it that I thought was good, and everything else was so off-putting to me that I would either skip it or
left cheek.
Yeah, that's like and that's like in the good part of the movie that I consider. But yeah, no, everything else was either so off-putting to me that I'd either skip it or end it as soon as the good part that I determined to be the good part was over. And I was like, oh, if I don't want to see like anything but one scene from this movie, I don't think this is a good movie.
Also, sir, would you like to hear about our Premium Gold Plus package?
Yet another racist joke.
Yeah.
When I got this
it really
movie
is.
on DVD, it was a Walmart exclusive, and it had a second DVD that was Transformers Beginning. So they took the comic, the prequel comic, and they just made kind of like an animatic with the voiceovers. And I thought that was pretty cool. So it's like 20 minutes of before what happens in the movie to kind of give you context of what happened beforehand. Even though I don't believe any of the comics are really canon to any movie.
The movies aren't canon to the movies, to be fair. So, like,
This is true.
Okay, I see. So do you still hold that exact same opinion that you hate this movie?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, get out.
When people are like, it's a good movie. No, it's not. It's the best of the worst.
It holds up. It holds up.
The animation holds up. I love Blackout. I love that whole scene.
Yeah, so let's talk about we can just talk about highlights. Like, maybe we don't have to hit every single scene. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we really need to go through the entire plot? Should we just...
I was unaware that this was going to be a review and not a rewatch. So when you said, okay, it's going to be a review, I was like, oh, okay, so we're going to like talk about our feelings. I did not know that the plan was to do like a channel awesome, like plot by plot point, like recap of the movie. So I am, whatever is up with you guys, I am down for. I have no opinions. I am lost.
Okay.
There were some scenes, because I was writing notes in the Discord that me and you agreed with. One of them was being how did the power go back on right after a blown transformer, And
Yeah.
also,
Okay.
Man, I don't
No
remember
clue
I don't
why-
remember the part where someone blew one of the Transformers. That sounds gross.
it was when Ratchet hit the wire and it was like, wow, I got high from that. You gotta try this.
I was making a joke about sexual acts.
I got it.
Oh, but wait, do you masturbate?
No, I'm not.
We're
But
gooning,
like,
bro.
like
We're
I'm not.
gooning
But,
to
like,
RC.
look, I'm not. But it's very clear at several points.
Okay, we'll
It-
just
no, no.
call it Perspective's happy time.
It's very clear at several points throughout the movie. Behind the camera, Michael Bay was masturbating vigorously.
Yeah, I love to go faster.
Let's talk about the intro scene with Blackout. Okay.
Yeah, that's
a classic, man. That's a
What I-
great scene.
what I love about it is not only that it introduced Transformers as a concept, but it introduces them as a threat, and it's a slow build to it. Like it doesn't just go right out of the gate. You don't like if you're just watching Transformers without the knowledge of Transformers, despite the logo at the front of it, and you have no idea what's fishy about this helicopter. It could just be spies, could be just anything. You know, so I think it's brilliantly done. And watching the transformation for the first time, even though you see the camera pan over behind a bunch of cars, it's still interesting because the way he transforms, you're still not entirely sure what's going on. It's just things are flying around. But I think it's done in an awesome way. And then it also incorporates the difference between Blackout and everyone else, and that being his big sonic blast thing. So
As someone
his Blackout abilities.
As someone with a degree in CGI animation, I believe I'm fairly confident in saying that the reason that it like passes all of those like Humvees and like people between you, the camera, and Blackout in that shot is that way they can swap out the model. Yeah, they're swapping out the model so that way they can have one with like a different section of the transformation because those transformations were so horribly overcomplicated they couldn't all achieve it in one thing and not have it completely break.
But they did start it with one step with the propellers going back. I thought that was smart. Just show like,
the
one
whole
step up.
like the way they transform in the movie. When the movie comes out, we're coming off of like Cybertron. So like the characters in Cybertron just look like they're toys. So seeing these like complicated transformations where they're like Transformers are made of little bits of the vehicle and like they're so much more detailed, it was pretty crazy.
You
like
can't really blame
we're so used to it now, but like when it came out, it was so different from every other Transformers thing.
You can't even blame the first movie toys for being inaccurate or being kind of.
They did their best.
They tried.
Yeah, they really did their best, honestly.
I'll be honest.
I have the Optimus Prime.
I'll be honest, as a horrible G1er, kind of, maybe not really, but kind of. I always hated the way that like every like I was like one of my main criticisms for the movie is like they would have more joints in their body to transform than like they'd have a billion of those and they wouldn't be able to move because they'd be like going from a statue to a statue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
Optimus Prime's model has 1,000 parts to it, actually.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I love the design of Optimus Prime in this movie. Maybe that's jumping the gun a little bit, but like their designs I guess we could just talk about like the designs themselves.
So originally they wanted to do a G.I. Joe film, and then they moved on to Transformers. Bay didn't want Autobots. He just wanted all bad guys, all Decepticons. But they were like, no, you gotta do Autobots. They even, Steven Spielberg had to step in and say, no, this movie has to be about a boy in a car, and let's focus on that. With a lot of the designs, they went through different phases and different trials. The one thing that they had to do was pass a squint test for at least the main Autobots. So Bumblebee and Optimus Prime, if you squint and you can tell that's Optimus Prime, then that's fine.
But you can't squint and tell that's Bumblebee in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, it's yellow.
Well,
that's.
if you
I mean, that makes him as much Sunstreaker as it makes him Bumblebee.
But people didn't know Sunstreaker. People knew Bumblebee.
Basically,
I guess.
if you
I
can
don't
tell
know.
it's Bumblebee,
I mean,
or you
also
can
Hotshot.
associate that.
Honestly, he looks more like Hotshot than he does Bumblebee.
But Hotshot
Yeah.
was also popular at the time, so
But Hotshot also has like that very round head like Bumblebee had in that movie.
yeah.
I think the squint test is saying, like, it has to look like something, right? Like, it has to look like a robot and not like a just nothing.
So real quick, I would like to cycle back because I was thinking maybe what you guys should do is you guys should like talk about like the things that you like, and then me being the horrible bastard man that I am, I should try and I should be like, can I ruin that? And so so talking about the introduction of Blackout, the one thing that never worked for me in that was Blackout shows up and he has weapons so insanely powerful and he's so completely indiscriminate and obviously does not care about our like you know the Decepticons are not going to care about human lives. The serious question is, why are they robots in disguise? They are weapons of ungodly destruction where we are not a threat to them. They should just come down, rain death on us, and to hell with the consequences. We can't do shit.
Because it's kind of like a slow build, I guess.
I mean that's a plot. Like it makes sense for like the plot that it would be a slow build, but why would the characters not just do this?
Well, let's think about it this way. They don't know where Megatron is, and what they want is Megatron and the Allspark. So it wouldn't really benefit them to just attack the U.S. military because, they might win in a sneak attack, but you know they do kill Brawl. I think they killed Blackout. I can't remember.
Yeah,
to
but
be
that's
honest.
also after they know what their weakness was, which was the fire rounds.
But they figured out the weakness pretty quick with Scorponok. Like it's not like
which I would like to
that's
point.
how they figured it.
I would like to. Can I just, as someone who knows a fair bit about military tech and hardware, everything that they fucking said in that scene is wrong to a point of just absolute insanity. Like they're like, oh, these rounds are like preheated to like 15,000 degrees, aren't they? No, they're not. That's not even remotely what they do. Not in any way, shape, or form is that what they do. That's not. A nuclear bomb could go off on that, and the truth would not have radiation burns. Like, there's like that's like saying like, oh man, look at this knife. This knife can totally shoot lasers, right? It's like, oh, what?
Well, what about when they're looking at the?
I can freeze time with ice cubes.
That's like honestly, that's closer to what they're saying.
What about later in the movie?
The particular rounds he's talking about are just very, very fast and very, very hard. That's what they are. They're fast and hard. They're not hot at all.
Speaking of which, when Megatron is frozen, he's completely frozen, so like nothing should be functional, nothing should move. So, A, how does he get in the position that he's in where he's standing when his arm is up like this? And B, how is it that his navigation system does the scan thing? Like I don't get that. And then specifically on the glasses too.
Yeah. Also, like, wouldn't that like just etch it into his like skin? Why is it specifically glass? Also, wouldn't it be like the ice around him? Like, if he's shooting a laser,
there's criticizing a movie, and then there's like nitpicking.
Okay, yeah. I will fully admit
like,
that right now we are turning into
the Transformers movie has flaws. I can't believe it.
I will admit that right now we are turning into
but I will say
CinemaSins.
I will say that the first movie, I know a lot of them are like big gray Decepticons with insect designs or whatever. I think that they're really cool in the first movie, especially. Later on, they kind of dragged into whatever the hell, we just want to create whatever. But the first movie specifically, I love how Brawl is like a tank in both modes. I like my favorite scene out of any Transformers movie, even now, is when they're down the alleyway and Blackout transforms, and he's just like a slow transformation, and he just stands there. That is, I love watching that. It's so good.
I love the highway battle with Bonecrusher.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I've watched like a million times on YouTube.
By the way, credit to the, say whatever you want about Bay, but man, that when he splits the bus in half and you see everything that goes into that, and they only have one chance at that. Wow.
Yeah. If you don't know, that bus that Bonecrusher destroys. It's like a real bus. They really destroyed that.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy.
If you've ever watched Pointless Hub, he was like, man, this movie is like quaint old Hollywood at this point. Everyone was like making fun of it for how much CGI there is. But
there's a lot of film grain. It's kind of nice.
Like compared to now, compared to the CGI hellscape that literally everything is turned into, that's killing all of the CGI artists with overwork. Like, damn, there was a lot of practical effects in that movie.
Yeah, you have to, like, I mean, just imagine the time when that movie came out. Nobody had seen CGI like this. It was crazy to think. You couldn't even think of CGI like this. Like, when I'm talking about the pre-planning for the Transformers and the concepts, they didn't know what they should do or could do. And it's like, I don't know how you can nail something like that. Obviously, the designs are flawed. They don't look 100% like their original designs, and they could have leaned closer to that.
I like that they look different and weird in their own way. Like, a part of the reason I like Transformers is because it seemed to reinvent itself every few years.
Yeah.
And I got used to that to the point where, for me, it's kind of annoying how much they do G1 stuff now.
You know what's
I don't hate it. I'm not
that?
hating on G1, but I do like when they do new stuff.
Let me tell you what I think would appease just kind of maybe take the heat out of the fandom is if they continue to do that, continue to reinvent themselves, but also please just make a live action version of a G1 movie. Like, I just want to see the thing that I grew up with. I just want to see the thing that I grew up with on screen for once. Just once, please.
Mm-hmm. What I do like about the Transformers movie is that when people are complaining that, oh, they ruined G1 for me, you know, I firmly believe that we wouldn't have a lot of the G1 Transformers based toys right now if it weren't for the Transformers movie, because they brought back some of the characters like Bumblebee and Ratchet. Bumblebee was out the window. He was
gone. Yeah, he was gone for a long time.
There was a time where nobody thought of Bumblebee.
There was a time where Bumblebee was like considered like annoying. Like when Hotshot came out, I remember like fan discussion. Not like I was online at the time, but I had like friends who were also kind of into the Transformers at the time, and everyone was like, "Oh, thank God, it's not Bumblebee." Everyone hates Bumblebee.
I mean, the first person to actually replace him was Cheetor.
Yeah,
kind of.
That's true.
To be fair,
I
I wouldn't say necessarily replace him because it's obviously they're all completely different characters in that show. But he did have kind of the role of Bumblebee. But honestly, I'd say that Bumblebee was a far more competent and respected character than Cheetor.
I think it was the times though. For Cheetor, I mean, he's in the 90s. He's gonna be like that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, man, I do kind of wish that Cheetor were more like my memories, where Cheetor like was cool and at least a little bit competent. And now I watch the show and I'm like, man, you are a fucking useless liability, you jackass.
Something I wanted to mention: when Sam and his dad are buying the car, I mean, yeah, it's got the VW bug there. That's funny. But Bernie Mac saying, "If I had a rock, I'd bust your head, bitch," caught me so off guard. I did not remember that line at all in the movie.
I remember that because I was like, man, how the fuck dare you talk to your mom like that?
I think there were censored versions of the movie, at least that played on TV, that didn't have that.
Yeah, it must have been cut for TV.
Oh,
but I don't know why he's so violent towards her.
I completely forgot that Soundwave is in this movie, but not in this movie.
What do you mean?
So, Blackout was going to be Soundwave,
right?
Then they made it Blackout, but then they also have Frenzy in it, who transforms into a music box thing.
Right.
This movie has Soundwave, but not Soundwave.
Frenzy makes it even more confusing because he's silver in this one. It's like, wait, but which one is he supposed to be?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, he's a silver one.
Here's the thing
about you were saying you were saying there's no villain in this movie. Frenzy is the main villain. He causes all the trouble. He does everything.
Yeah, and that's the thing is he's got such a strange role in it because he's the minion, and like not even the minion. He is like the minion's minion. This dude isn't like the dragon. This dude is like 7th tier on the totem pole of importance.
He looks like he's jerking off every time he goes into a computer. It looks like he's gonna blow his load.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what it's like? It's like you know, you have the emperor, and then you have the king, or not the king. You have the emperor, and then you have the emperor's like bodyguard, and then you have like the emperor's like army, and then you have this, and then you have that, and then you have like the next step down, and then you have like the emperor's tax collector, and that's who Frenzy is. And
My
he's the main
favorite
villain.
scene with Frenzy is when he's trying to sneak past the cops, which, by the way, is ridiculous.
Crazy scene. I was so mad when I was watching
But,
that.
but the funny, my favorite part of that is when he's walking by and he's got his hand covering his face like, do, nothing to see here.
Yeah, even like that was like one of the scenes that stood out to me when I was like, this movie's funnier than it had to be. Like that was like one of the scenes. So I was like, that annoyed me so.
I don't know how anyone could think of Starscream, by the way, because like now we definitely associate that with Starscream. But then I realized when I'm watching the movie, he just kind of comes in out of nowhere.
He doesn't really do anything.
He never does
he?
anything.
Like,
That's the problem with the movies. Robots never do.
Yeah.
Fun fact. So if you ever heard the story I told about the friend who he went and saw, I think it was Age of Extinction, and he came back. He was like, "That was great. You should watch it." And then I was like, "Oh, it was. How did you like the characters?" He said, "Oh, the characters were awful." How'd you like the comedy? The comedy was terrible. How'd you like the action? Nothing was framed right. It was terrible. And like I went through, and every single point he literally fucking hated, and it was like, dude, you hate this movie. You don't think a single point of it is good. But
you know what? I'm the exact same way. When I came out of that movie, I was like, oh, I love that. And then years later, I'm like, man, I get more and more depressed when I think of this film.
Yeah, so it was just funny. But the same friend, I took him to see the G1 movie a couple years ago when it came back to theaters for a little while.
Nice.
And he came out of that movie. He was like, "Wait, that's what Starscream was like." Based on the first movie, I always thought that Starscream was like supposed to be like this death on wheels dude who's just like unstoppable because like Starscream shows up in that first movie. And they're like, "It's Starscream."
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's kind of a menace, but he just doesn't do all that much.
I do like the scene where he's flying around, killing all the F-22s.
Killing all the humans, Raptors. like he does in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's a extended comic where he takes one of the humans hostage, goes up into space, and you see it go splat in the cockpit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is something.
I wish that was in the movie.
That was sad.
That would have been sick.
Yeah. I mean, I
Bush.
really like the designs in this movie. I know that's not always a popular thing to say, but I mean, there was kind of a charm to the first bunch,
Yeah. Yeah, I think all the Autobots are really iconic from this movie. They like the arrival on Earth scene is so good. It's so iconic with them landing and choosing their
times
forms.
better than Armageddon, I swear to God.
It's fair to like whatever you like. I am not in the same boat as you two. I've always hated those designs, but 100%, like you're not wrong for liking them. You can't be.
Even if you don't like the designs, they at least like establish the Autobots, what their names are, what their role is, a little bit of their personality. Like, it gives you something, unlike the later movies where it's just like, oh, okay, I guess this guy's here now. We won't introduce him. He's just in the background. His name's Jolt. He is important, I guess.
The later movies. The second movie.
Yeah.
God, there was a time where we didn't even think of sequels.
Yeah,
no, God.
Yeah, this was before the MCU and stuff.
Yeah. By the way,
so,
I love Jazz. I like his design. Again, not popular. Well, I don't know. A lot of people seem to like. I think Jazz done right is pretty good. Like the Masterpiece toy, the movie Masterpiece, that looks cool.
I think what you might be.
Yeah, his design is neat. Yeah.
I think what you might be running into is vocal assholes who are like, "Fuck you for liking this thing." But I think that, based on my experiences, probably more people like the movie designs than don't.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're the minority, to be honest.
Hey, I'll be the minority. I don't care.
Well, either people like it, people don't like it, or people just don't care and want to watch robots fight.
Why did they make Jazz say, "What's crackin', little bitches"?
Be-
Why did they make him say that?
because Michael Bay is racist. End of story.
Yeah, I know the answer when I asked, but...
You asked that right after the Bobby Bolivia quote.
that was just more weird than racist, to be fair.
I think
your head, bitch.
I don't understand how Michael Bay has never been canceled. Everyone's just like, oh, that Michael Bay. And it's like, the dude is the most racist director in all of Hollywood by a wide margin.
He showed himself like it's like Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
it's like before anyone could get canceled, so everyone knows.
There are so many characters in this movie. I don't know all their names.
Well, there's douchebag.
There's Sam's best friend that we know for 2 scenes, and that's it.
Yeah.
What
he
a
climbs
character.
a tree and then leaves.
Well, very clearly, he turned into the guy in the 4th movie. He grew up and became the guy in the 4th movie who died in the bomb, played by T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller.
Oh my god.
Obviously grew up to be T.J. Miller.
The only character I can say I really like is Glenn. I don't know why he never came back. I liked him.
Which one's Glenn?
He yelled a lot.
Anthony
He was
Anderson.
the hacker.
Oh,
he ate the donuts.
Right.
Yeah.
Ate the whole plate.
The hacking scene,
The
by the
whole
way,
plate.
insane.
The whole plate.
Are You Ladies Man 217?
I can't.
Come on, that's a
I
classic.
can't tell you how many fucking YouTube handles that has spawned.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I wonder if that eBay page still exists.
Was it a real eBay page?
Well, someone had to make it after the movie.
Oh, right,
obviously.
yeah.
But no. Okay, one thing I hate about the whole Barricade versus Bumblebee scene, because that's like an iconic fight, is that it's barely a fight.
Yeah, I had the same complaint, man.
But it's not even just that Barricade and Bumblebee are fighting off screen and you just see Barricade damaged. It's the
With his ass
swerving
beat.
of the camera I hate so much, because it looks like everyone just turns 180 and then runs in the same direction.
Yeah.
What I hate about that fight is when Megan Fox, fucking brain not work, when Michaela gets the fucking sawzall and starts hacking up Frenzy. Like, I am the son of a carpenter. Watching her do that is like, you're going to snap the blade off of that in half a second. It's going to fly into your fucking face. He's made out of space metal that you need to superheat bullets to 15,000 degrees to damage, and you are cutting through him with a blade that is probably rated for plastic pipe. Like, it's a fucking axe.
This is just a military weapon thing again. You're just like,
Yeah,
you
'cause I
know
know
too much about random
Well,
shit.
Because I know how it
in her
works.
defense-
She's like, why didn't they put an axe? There could have been a fire axe in there. Instead, there was a fucking sawzall, which, like, if you want to cut through a 2x4, takes like 10 seconds.
In her defense, his weapons are DVDs.
He's still made out of super powered space metal. Here's if she fucking swung that at a fucking like an actual Transformers figure, the Transformers figure would bounce off and it wouldn't do any damage to it. It wouldn't even scratch the Transformers figure. You cannot swing a sawzall like that. It does not work.
Frenzy was made by a knockoff company.
Starting a movie criticism with "I was the son of a carpenter" or "I'm the son of a carpenter" is crazy.
Well,
That should be your battle cry.
I get what you're saying. I understand your complaint.
I have been around that tool
but nobody cares.
I have been around that tool my entire life, watching it get used like it's an axe when that's literally it's the stupidest way you could possibly try and shoot that thing. You have to grab something and hold it against it to cut through it. It's one of the slowest ways to cut something.
Remember when Sam did the flip and you could see the stunt double?
No.
So Sam is riding the bike, and then there's the little lip on the concrete, and then he does a big flip on the bike.
Oh.
Like he's running from I think it's Bumblebee at that point.
Yeah, he's scared of Bumblebee for a little bit.
I remember the scene. I didn't notice.
By the way, for Autobots to hide, why is the Camaro just driving around him?
He's driving on the lawn at one point, just on the sidewalk. Bumblebee's driving.
God, the Autobots hiding scene. Oh my God, with the parents.
That's a great scene. I love that scene so much.
I feel like I'm on the same page with T-Fan. I'm feeling pain just thinking about it.
It's so goofy. I love it because it is goofy, but
I love how Optimus acts. He's like...
He's a dumbass!
In the later movies, he's really kind of, like, battle-scarred. But in this first movie, he's, like, kind of funny.
Come on,
like,
I need the glasses.
He's like,
Come
hurry
on.
up.
I do like when Optimus is hiding behind the house. He's like, oh, I can't be seen.
A quick aside. So the scene where they all introduce themselves, Jazz goes like, "What's up, little bitches," and whatnot.
Yeah.
Ironhide 100% has a British accent, and everyone tells me I'm insane, but he's like, "What? I just want to show my cannons," and it's like, that's British.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
I remember you talking about this in a Discord call. I listened really close. I think it just goes in and out. I think he does have a light British accent, but he doesn't commit to it.
Oh, it's Starscream. Get to the building.
It's Starscream.
It's Starscream.
Well,
yeah, he's kind of almost has like an Australian thing going on. But it's not strong. The voice actor didn't really commit. Is my thing.
And then it goes to a little Stewie Griffin building. Ooh, Brian, get to the building.
That voice sounds like a great D&D character.
I like when he says, "Yeah, it's definitely Japanese." I mean, it's kind of lame, but I like when he says that.
That's a reference to Gundam.
Yeah.
God, I remember the first fan-made teaser trailer for the Transformers film. And someone just took the DreamWorks logo and put Cybertron on it, and it looked very cool. It looked real. It looked legit. And then they took the Paramount logo and had the Ark fly into the mountain.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's awesome. I've not seen that.
You should send that to me if you can find it.
I did send it. It's in the group chat.
Okay.
You just don't look at me during.
Yeah, I don't read. I can't read.
No one respects.
Sector 7.
Yeah.
Sector 7 is a concept that no other piece of Transformers media has used.
Except for Bumblebee.
Except for Bumblebee.
Kind of, in a way, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Proto Sector
Vaguely. As vaguely as possible.
That is definitely the leftovers of Bumblebee was meant to be a prequel.
7.
Yeah. We'll talk about Bumblebee in the future.
Oh, don't you worry.
I'm excited.
But something that
swear to
stuck
God,
out to me...
If you try and make me watch, like, Age of Extinction, I will fucking quit.
No, we definitely will. Yeah, we're gonna watch all the movies. That's kind of...
I will commit...
Do you think we were just gonna watch this one and nothing else?
No, we were gonna watch 1 and 3.
God, I was hoping. I would like... you
no, we gotta... We're making content.
You didn't even watch the film.
You want to...
You didn't even watch it.
You actually didn't even watch it.
Yeah, no, I'm not fucking stupid. I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not gonna fucking like, oh.
You didn't understand the point of. I understood it.
The fucking. You're talking about this one. You're talking about this one.
Yes, the video that we're doing
I was talking
right
about
now.
Age of Extinction. Yeah, I didn't watch fucking Age of Extinction. I'm not stupid. Fucking, you mean the one like after the movie stopped being good immediately, and then like everyone's like, oh, this is the worst
That's
one.
the one.
How the hell do you say "hurry the fuck up" in Chinese?
I don't even know what you're talking.
I'm assuming
I
that's a
haven't
quote
seen
from
that
That's
movie
a
in long
quote
time.
from the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fucking
Well, yeah.
the like Age of Extinction when everyone was like, "Wow, this is the worst one," I was like, I don't know how it could be worse than Revenge of the Fallen, and I'm not going to test fate. I'm just going to let
We'll
that
talk
be.
about Revenge of the Fallen. We'll talk about Revenge of the Fallen. But Sector 7, back to Sector 7. One thing I noticed when they arrest them is that they like scan them for radiation. It's like, are the Transformers giving Sam and Michaela like cancer?
Maybe that's why he died
by
by
just
the
being
fifth
around
movie.
them.
That's how he died
Yeah,
by the fifth movie.
That's what I was thinking. Like, he died from fucking radiation cancer. That would be a legit reason for the humans to hunt them.
Well, okay, so
in the fourth movie.
To be fair, like literally anything that comes to like Earth from out of space would be fucking bathed in radiation. It might not be that the Transformers are inherently radioactive. They're just fucking getting 100,000 doses of gamma radiation as they pass by the sun. and then they're just radiating that out back into the world when they land.
They're just holding the little
and they're
beeper
just
thing
chill.
to them, and it's like going crazy, and it's like, holy shit, Sam is gonna get cancer.
14 rad.
It's okay, we got Radaway. Oh wait, this isn't Fallout.
Why did Bumblebee piss on Agent Simmons?
Because it's funny.
What do we think about that?
I hate
it. Is funny.
I'll be honest, I completely forgot that happened until it got pointed out, and I was like, man, I don't remember that happening. And I went back and watched it. It was like, yeah, no, that did happen.
You don't remember? That was a highlight to me in the movie. I was like shocked.
I am
by
not
that.
the only person. Like, you can post it on like Twitter. A lot of people just block that scene from their memory.
I like how from
It's like the
between
Mandela
Autobots
effect.
Invasion, Autobots Invasion and when Sector 7 comes in, there's a whole bunch of Disney Channel stars or Nickelodeon stars that just kind of randomly show up. Like the guy who's like, my car's under there, man. He's from, Disney and Nickelodeon stuff. And the fat guy running around, he's also from one of those things.
Sector 7, the headquarters are under the Hoover Dam for some reason. Kind of cool. I like it. I mean, Bumblebee, he gets captured by Sector 7.
See, here's my thing is that they transported Megatron to the Hoover Dam. Why didn't they just have Megatron where he was?
Or like move him to Alaska.
Yeah.
So like somewhere putting him in the Hoover Dam is a really bad idea, because like if he ever gets out, great, you've put him next to a place that can like flood millions of homes.
Not only that, but with the Allspark in the same place.
Yeah, well, they don't know what the Allspark is, to be fair.
That's an interesting...
They just know it's
still,
like a powerful
that just
object.
gave me an interesting question. Why would they move him there? Would they be like, oh, yes, obviously he is the same as this square?
Same symbols on him.
Wow.
The symbols match. They explain that in the
movie.
movie.
This Minecraft block.
No. But maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but
like,
that's an actual reason, is the symbols on him.
But I don't
match
think he has
the cube.
symbols on him. Also, it's...
He does.
He?
They all do. Yeah.
Maybe.
They like Optimus has symbols on his ears very prominently.
So maybe,
it's kind of cool.
Maybe that's why they moved.
They
him there.
sneak it in.
Maybe I think the cube was already there, and they couldn't move the cube.
Yes,
so
the
they
cube
moved
was located
Megatron
there.
to the cube for whatever reason. Why you'd want to put those two things together into one target is beyond.
We're
What
over
I
here
find-
piecing together the plot that they say in the movie expressly. As soon as you said that, I remembered they said that in the movie.
What I find funny is that in the last night, his head has all these markings, and it shows like him with his Decepticons, like he's commanding them, but it's the first movie design on his helmet.
His movie design in The Last Night does not look like the first movie.
God, no. Thank God.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm confused.
No! On his helmet, he has markings that look
like the same markings?
No! Shut up! He's got markings on his head that show like an outline design of him commanding his generals. Or his Decepticons. It's like an outline of what happened on Cybertron. He's got like basically a tattoo
like Maui,
of him doing that.
like Maui
And-
from Moana.
Yeah, pretty much. But his design on the helmet is the first movie Megatron outline.
I mean,
I'm looking up his head design because I don't know what the hell you're talking
I suppose,
about.
to be fair, like if he was like commanding like an army of Decepticons, he would like it's just an accurate portrayal. It's like, I look like this when I did have an army. Now I don't, and I look like this. Back then.
Yeah.
I need you to supply me proof of that because I don't see that anywhere on Google.
Maybe you're dumb.
Maybe you're maybe you're mean.
No!
So Bumblebee gets captured, by the way. I don't know if I said that. And they're like torturing him. When Sam stops them, he like weirdly asks, "They didn't hurt you, right?" Even though Bumblebee, for all we know, has just been like shocked over and over since he got captured.
Well, here's the thing: is Sam's an idiot.
Yeah.
End of statement.
I feel like maybe the script changed or something. Like I feel like something just wasn't cohesive in that scene.
Or maybe
Because the way Bumblebee acts is so like he's like about to shoot them, and they're all just kind of like staring at him.
Maybe like Bumblebee is like responding, but since we can't understand what the fuck Bumblebee ever says because the radio voice is completely unintelligible, he's like, "They tore my nuts out," and like we're just not privy to that.
I like how they slowly weed that out in Transformers, but that has been a thing for so long.
It's been
Yeah, the Bumblebee voice thing, I guess. That is the first time that happened.
I truly hate that because I literally can't understand it. I have never understood like the radio voice, like not like
that's the same thing with me and Wreck-Gar when he's talking, or Wheelie from G1.
Oh my god, I hate how Wreck-Gar talks.
I'll say the one thing that's fine about Wreck-Gar for me is that it's all in one voice. It's all Eric Idle, so at least I'm not having to like process like different voices and go, no, that's still coming out of him.
Yeah. He doesn't talk that much though in the movie. I noticed.
Yeah, but like anytime
he talks one scene prominently.
Anytime he did though, I couldn't understand a fucking word out of his mouth.
Yeah, it's fair. What were you gonna say, Brian?
I'm trying to find the scene now.
Of what?
Of Megatron. There's a scene where he turns his head. It's when all the Decepticons
Oh my god!
are on that
I
street.
forgot about
It turns out this was just a dream. It was always a dream.
It was all a dream.
And it turns out this conversation, we're a dream right now. You're sleeping. And also the god that is dreaming you is also sleeping and he's about to wake up. Bye.
There's an edit that someone posted in my Discord of the scene where they're all talking about Bumblebee getting captured, but it's like an edit where they're all like speaking Gen Z slang. They're like saying "gyat" and shit. And in the movie, Ratchet says, "The cube is raw power." But in the edit, he says, "The cube is raw riz." And I haven't stopped thinking about that since I watched it.
Truly a disease.
The cube is raw riz. And then at the end where he says Autobots roll out, he says Autobots touch grass. Anyway. Where's the screenshot, Brian?
I'm getting it, you cuck.
Don't call me a
You
cuck.
and your cucks.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to examine it right now live on air. That is so hard to see, dude.
How did you make that out?
How do you spot that? I mean, that's cool, but what the hell?
I have autism. That's how.
It's it's almost like dense.
You have autism. You watch the movie at 10% speed the whole way through.
Yeah. I'm the guy that does that. I watched this movie at 1.5 speed.
Jesus.
No, I mean, I do that. I don't watch movies at like 1.5 speed, but I will watch a movie at like 1.2 speed.
Okay.
That's wild to watch a movie like that.
Well,
I can't believe you guys watch movies like
it's 1.2 speed, so the audio sounds mostly fine. It sounds like everyone's speaking a little bit fast, but it's like, oh hey, if this movie is 2 hours long, I just shaved off like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We are all deeply mentally ill on this podcast. Anyway, the final battle.
Everything
what do we
just
think?
happens.
Yeah, I don't.
First of all, all I can
think of is Sam's now in the shit.
Here's my question. My biggest question. Why do they go to Mission City? Did I miss that part? Like, why do they go there? Because that's where the final battle is. It's not a real city, to my knowledge. It's just a place called Mission City.
So they can have
probably because of 9/11.
So they can have the maximum amount of collateral damage.
Exactly.
Yeah, without any. I mean, eventually they just go to Chicago. They're like, we can fuck up Chicago,
Jake,
but they use a fake city in this one.
They need to get to the building.
What building?
That's what Ironhide keeps saying. That's what Sam has to walk up to, and he keeps saying, "Sam, get to
But he needs to get to the building to get away from Mission City.
No, he needs to get to the building.
Is there maybe they think there's a way to destroy or transport the cube in Mission City? There had.
As like the way I'm watching it, it seems like they just bring the Decepticons to the most populated area they possibly could. That's really what it reads like to me.
It seems like they were trying to hide it, but like you're seeing bright cars and military trucks. It's not hiding.
Yeah, there's like tanks on the road. Oh yeah, a classic flood Brawl is called Devastator in the movie. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Actually, you know what's funny about that is on the Paramount Plus version of the movie, there's no written things.
Really?
For when the
What?
Decepticons are talking, there's nothing. I don't
don't
know
say
if
anything?
I was supposed
What?
to do a setting on it or something, but there's
No, it's just in the movie.
Yeah, there's no.
I watched it on YouTube. I own the movie.
Oh, I've
and
seen it dozens of times, but like, yeah, for some reason on Paramount Plus, I watched it last night. There's nothing written.
That's so weird.
You know what's weird to me is all the people who like really get invested for some reason in like
is it Devastator? Is it Brawl?
Yeah, that and also
argument.
the people who are like really invested in calling like Dino Mirage. It's like, but why?
Yeah. At first I was like, Dino, what the hell kind of Transformers name is that? I kind of like Dino as a Transformer.
Yeah.
I just like it as a name, to be honest. It's kind of a cool name.
But my thing is that when people are like, no, there's got to be a reason behind why Brawl is Devastator. There's got to be a plot reason or something. And it's like,
that's
no.
weird.
They just like Devastator.
He just thought
that's
cool.
it. That
Here's my rule: whatever the toy says, that's what I go by.
exactly.
Because it's all based on the toy.
Well,
so whatever the toy is,
that would
that's
make Dino
the
Mirage.
canon. Well, that's fine.
What's Studio Series?
Dino's his nickname. There, headcanoned. What do you say, Brian?
Wasn't Studio Series Dino?
What? I don't know.
That makes
I'm
it
looking
even
it
more
up right
confusing then, because I do believe it was Studio Series Dino, but like the toys that came out before.
Yeah, it's Studio Series Autobot Dino, but when I pulled up the picture, there was something obscuring the bottom, so it just says no.
Oh.
Yeah, but before the original figure was Mirage, and it like had the wrong carbon.
Well, okay, yeah.
That was when they were changing it, but I guess by the point Studio Series came out, they settled on Dino.
That's a fair argument to my original statement. I guess it's more of a nuanced thing.
I guess people will theorize on that now.
Is there anything about the Doobot that appears that's kind of a weird
I want
thing?
a toy of him. I really do.
So they kind of made one, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a truck that you can put on its side and it looks like a vending machine.
The only movie I've ever seen with
Am I right?
The only movie I've ever seen with more product placement was Man of Steel.
Oh, not Age of Extinction with the Budweiser scene?
I made it clear earlier in this podcast that I made the wise decision to avoid that movie.
Too bad.
Oh yeah, his name's Dispenser.
Dispenser, yeah.
Yeah, and he turns into a mountain. It's not Mountain Dew. It's some other, but it looks like the logo. What's he a remold of? Payload. He's a remold of Payload.
Do you guys?
Oh yeah.
Do you guys?
The toy had something different than Mountain Dew, but it was Mountain Dew in the movie.
It looked like it, yeah. The old logo.
Do you guys know the lore behind why everything the Allspark makes is evil?
No, I didn't really think about that, to be honest.
I just thought they were angry.
Apparently there is lore, and it's that all technology on Earth apparently somehow is derived from Megatron. And I would desperately
Yeah.
I would
They say that in the movie.
I would desperately like to know how like a toaster, which is just a piece of metal with a heating coil in it and a fucking AC like power adapter, like how is that derived?
That's for next movie.
How is that derived from Megatron?
So basically, he's like Adam and Eve all together.
Yeah, that actually makes. Now that you say that,
That's
actually
stupid.
kind of makes sense for once.
It's any kind of an explanation.
It's stupid. I agree, it's stupid, but I guess I can see the logic they're drawing.
I'll just say that they're angry.
I was kind of taking it as like all of a sudden they're alive, so they're just on the offense, like they don't even know what to do.
Imagine like Cybertronian parents, they give birth and then all of a fucking sudden their kid is shooting them.
I don't like the idea of a Transformer giving birth.
Oh, what about Dickbot?
According to the second movie, they have eggs.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that, sir. So Megatron is killed by the Cube's raw Riz. And for some reason, Optimus says, "You left me no choice, brother."
It wasn't even his choice. His choice was to die.
Yeah, he was trying to die.
Wait, I like how Optimus is taking the credit. You left me no choice. I had to do it.
He immediately takes the
He wasn't calling him like his actual brother. He was like doing a Hulk Hogan thing, like, you left me no choice, brother. Brother.
Like, there is a weird implication there that they like. The only time I remember them talking about that again is in the fucking last night.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden they bring up the brother stuff again. Like, too late, bro.
And
too
also
late.
the Bumblebee voice thing. I have not heard your voice since Cybertron fell. 2007 called.
Yeah. I would also like to point out that just like, God, man, I've seen the clips of his voice, and who do they get? Just some random dude out of the fucking like janitor's closet, just like sting like a bee.
Oh.
I forget, but I think it's a guy that plays another Transformer in the movie.
Does he?
And he just did that voice.
He did the worst voice I've ever heard.
That is the worst line I've seen out of any Transformers movie, and that's saying something.
I don't understand the choice. And Diamond Bolt just did a video on Transformers 07, which is really good. You should go check it out.
Cringe.
And he says it sounds like an old man's voice, and I kind of just feel like he sounds like very formal, like British or something for some reason. It's
why
kinda,
is everyone
stay with the boy.
British?
I wish to stay with the boy. Why does he become the chair at the end of the movie?
What?
You know what else is weird is that I would have been fine with Bumblebee's voice in the next movie, except they deleted a scene where he just straight up says Sam.
Really?
So it's like his voice is still kind of not working. Is it the same? It's Bumblebee saying Sam, like no radio talk.
Yeah.
But it's in the middle of him trying to use the radio to talk.
Okay, that's kind of. I mean, that's fun, I guess.
It's kind of like the.
Is the implication that he's straining to speak? That's why it kind of sounds tinny and weird.
Yes.
Okay.
Which makes it funnier in the last night where he finally gets his voice back, but still uses the radio in one scene.
What I've done.
Apparently, Optimus Prime turning evil was always the cure.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I saw it twice in theaters. I'm ready to talk.
You
about
fucking
it.
psycho. You fucking sick bastards. You're getting that from someone who watched fucking not Man of Steel. You're getting that from someone who watched Batman vs Superman 4 times.
You're the reason why it's successful. You're the biggest Snyder fan I've seen.
Nah, fucking the Snyderverse. Fucking
you love the Snyderverse. The
Snyderverse.
I bet you watch Rebel Moon.
Fuck no.
5 times.
Fuck no, dude.
Yeah, I bet you watched it and slowed down.
I will say that I will defend Man of Steel to my dying breath. Man of Steel is good, and everyone who's like, oh, Superman kills in it, like, get over it. Like, Superman. This is a version of Superman who is not like taught to like believe that from like growing up, and then like him killing a person there, that should have been like his moment to go like, oh wow, that was wrong. I did that, and I immediately saw all of the alternate like opportunities, and I feel so guilty. I'll never do that again. And that's not what they did with the rest of the movies.
Killing is bad.
But like giving him that experience where he's like, no, I know better. That would have been fine.
Anyways, Transformers sucks.
Yeah.
There's a really good YouTube video of PerspectiveEnd, like AI voice singing "What I've Done."
It's not really good. It sounds terrible, but yes, I know the one you're talking about.
If you speed it up, it sounds better. But shout out to that video because it's fucking hilarious.
I had this coworker years ago who like he didn't like the fact that like I kind of like shit talk everything.
Yeah.
And so like at one point he like comes up to me and he had this voice that I'm still convinced to this day was a voice that he was just like, that he was like, no, this is my voice. I want to sound like this, where he sounded like this. And he came up to me and he's like, hey, Jake, Transformers sucks. And I was like, and I go, yeah, no, the movies are like kind of like really terrible. I can see why you wouldn't like that. He's like, no, you don't understand. Like the entirety, all of Transformers, like the shows, everything, it sucks. And I go, yeah, no, I can see why you can feel that way. You know, it's not for everyone. He goes, God damn it. He was so angry. You cannot piss me off by hating something I like. You can only piss me off by liking something I hate.
That's
Nerd.
a funny way to think. Bruh became perspective beginning. Okay, well, fuck y'all. That was a funny joke in my opinion.
No.
Are we done here? Any closing thoughts? We will talk about the toy line in the future.
So maybe
but I want to focus on the movie.
maybe we should actually
Okay.
give like a real review of it. Like maybe we should
A real review.
Maybe we should close
Hey
it
guys,
instead of just
what's up? T-Fan Page 101 here, doing a new review. We got Transformers movie.
Articulation.
well no like
Articulation.
because we've talked about scenes, right? So what are like our actual
Yeah.
like how would you review it? What would you say? Give it a star rating.
Okay. I'll go first. I gave it a 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Out of what?
dumbjake on out of 5. Okay. It's only it's all 5 stars on Letterboxd. It's an app. I'll tell you about it. But I give it 3.5 out of 5. I think it still holds up for the most part. Out of all of them, like the first 5, it as an actual movie, there's like shades of a real movie in it that I like. I like the film grainy look. It feels a little bit more real. I like the designs for the most part. I like the Autobots, how they're introduced. You can really feel Steven Spielberg's touch on it. Feels like he kind of backed out after the first one, and that's why I think they become progressively worse.
Well, he's the one that
but
pushed
here's the thing: it's not so much progressively worse. It like drops off a cliff, and then it comes back up a little bit, and then it drops off a cliff again, and then it keeps dropping.
Yeah, it falls to the bottom of the ocean.
Just
but
like Megatron.
the scene where Sam and Michaela start to hold hands while they're witnessing this, that feels so Spielberg to me, in a good way. So I feel like his touch is like clearly there.
If I have one criticism of the Bumblebee movie, it's that when Charlie is like, no, we're not holding hands. It's like, bitch, just give the guy some human connection. He's not trying to make out with you. He's just like, holy shit, I'm seeing some shit. I need a human connection right now.
PerspectiveEnd, I think that there's more than meets the eye.
You know what I noticed in that scene? There's like under that scene is What I've Done. It starts playing the beginning of it, and then nothing else. Like the first 30 seconds of What I've Done starts to play. And I was so confused. I never noticed that before.
I'm sorry to have cut. I'm sorry to have cut into your final thoughts review. Please get back to it. Yeah, no. You don't have to apologize. I should be the one apologizing. I just had to say, like, Charlie, I'm down with you, girl, but this is just mean. This is just mean.
Yeah, you gotta stand up for the gooners.
What up?
Yeah, but overall, I think it holds up better than other movies. There's some scene like. This was such a, I don't want to say life-changing because that's so fucking lame, but it really, like, when Optimus Prime transformed for the first time in the movie, it, like, permanently altered my brain chemistry, I think. So it's a really important movie to me. I don't think it's the best movie ever, but I enjoyed it. I like the goofy character stuff. But it's long in the tooth. Some stuff could have been cut, to be honest. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars for me.
I think the film is mostly charming. I mean, it's got its flaws. It's got its racist jokes and whatever. I'm not really saying, oh, that's good, or these should be included or whatever. But I think if you can look past that, I mean, it's a 2.5-hour movie. I think there's more going on than just that. I think it's interesting, especially when you think of how it not how the film starts, but the progression to get to making that movie is pretty interesting, and seeing exactly how they wanted to tackle this movie. Its development is very interesting. But the movie itself, I think I like a lot more than I dislike. And even stuff that I feel meh about, it's whatever, I guess. But yeah, I still enjoy it. I mean, it still puts a big smile on my face because it's like one of the earliest movies that I got excited for. And I mean, I'm into Transformers, obviously, but I mean, being into Transformers doesn't mean I'm gonna like the movie, but it did kickstart something. And one thing I'll say is that, it brought Transformers back to the spotlight because it was kind of dying down. So, that's good too. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed. I like the Decepticons and Autobots, even though if they could be used more. But my thing about this movie is that it's not even so much that it's a Transformers movie; it's an alien invasion movie, and it feels more like that. It feels like a super action alien,
like Independence Day.
Oh, you just made me think of a Roland Emmerich Transformers movie.
That would be crazy.
But if you think of the movie as that, I think, and it's a blockbuster film, it's not something to take seriously. I think you're going to enjoy yourself. If you're just there for Transformers and you want G1, obviously you're not going to get that, but it's 2024. You should know that by now. So.
And what ranking, like number ranking, would you give it?
I rank it 4 smiley faces out of 7.
Yeah, we could just all do different rankings. It doesn't
And I completely agree, Dumb Jake. It's a 3.5 out of 10.
Okay.
At least for me. Like, if I'm being objective about the movie, I think the movie's probably a 6 out of 10. But if I'm going by like how I feel about the movie, I fucking hate every character in it. I want them all to die. I would laugh if they all did. Literally, I don't care if any single one of them survives. I find the color grading to be hideous along with the designs. This is gonna get me lynched. This one's gonna get me lynched. I fucking hate Linkin Park. I've always hated Linkin Park.
Whoa!
I can't.
Well,
I cannot
don't bring a Linkin Park into this.
I cannot stand Linkin Park's music. It drives me up the wall. So the soundtrack is awful.
They just did the one song.
It's still in there. I also don't like the score just in general. Like Arrival to Earth, I hate the Arrival to Earth song. Yeah, I know. Again, I knew I was gonna.
You're really brave. I'm glad you brought these opinions out so late.
What I forgot to mention, I just wanted to say quickly that I was excited because Shia LaBeouf was in it. I had just gotten out of watching Even Stevens.
Right.
And then, the funny thing is, I had the exact opposite reaction because I was like, "Oh, not the Even Stevens kid."
Yeah, not my favorite show, to be honest.
I grew up with it, though.
Yeah, so it's funny that we had the exact opposite. But yeah, I knew I was going to get lynched on the soundtrack because I there's nothing in the soundtrack that I ever want to hear again. But yeah, the characters I find horribly annoying. I find the movie ugly. I find the racism now quite repugnant. Though at the time I didn't like pick up on it.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
And it's just it's an ugly movie full of angry people who don't like each other, and like it's got some good action, but nowhere near enough of it to supply the movie with like a redeeming feature. Like, the action of that movie is like 10%, and the other 90% I'm watching people be assholes and weird and racist with music I don't like.
Yeah, but we don't understand Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah, this is...
They have all types of racism in this movie.
Yeah, no, and it only...
whichever one's your favorite, it's in there.
And it only gets worse as time goes on. It's amazing how they managed to do that. But yeah,
we'll get there.
If I'm objective, I think the movie's probably a 6 out of 10. It looks pretty good for its age. There are some... and maybe it's just my trained eye, but there's some CGI that looks to me like it just does not hold up. But outside of
there was a couple scenes where I was like, okay,
and honestly, it's not entirely their fault. Like, I think the CGI was the worst when it's like in the waning light. Like they clearly weren't prepared. They were like, okay, we're ready to like shoot this in the dark, or we're ready to shoot this in like the fucking desert sun. We are not ready for this like middle ground. Which I think is understandable. The action...
You talking about the CGI for the dog, Mojo?
Yeah. The action is the most comprehensible of any of the movies. You can actually kind of tell what's going on. It's funny that movie kind of got like, they're like, oh man, the robots are kind of floaty and they move like ninjas, when in the later movies, that got so much worse. The first one almost doesn't deserve the criticism at all. And like if you're not like getting your teeth ground to like a paste with lockjaw as you watch the scenes like I do, then I'm sure that the characters are going to be fine for you. And I will say that there is a solid story with Michaela's character. She is the best developed in the movie. But yeah.
Yeah, she has a story. It's not really shown besides dialogue.
People keep saying that, oh, Michaela's a dumbass, and it's like, I don't remember a single scene where she's like a total dope.
It's not until the second movie where she's just a piece of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. They tried to give her something this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, a
lot of people say she should have been the main character,
yes.
which I can't disagree with. But
like Michaela,
we kind of got that with Bumblebee.
Michaela's probably the one character who I do not want to see violently shot in the face. Like she could die, and I would be like, oh well. But like everyone else,
you got away with words.
Everyone else, I want them so I want them 6 foot under so fast.
That's funny you say that because Michaela got blown up in the second movie because of an animation error.
She got blown up after the second movie, like between the second and third movies.
Worse, she got broken up with. Write her out of the movie.
Or
Michael Bay creeped on her too hard. Write her out.
That's probably it.
Actually no.
But then put her in Teenage Mutant Ninja
No.
Turtles
I know actually what happened. I know what actually happened. It's so stupid because Michael Bay's a giant whore. What happened was she, in an interview, called him Hitler. And he's a Jewish director. Yep. And he was completely okay with that. Michael Bay was completely okay with that. Steven Spielberg got offended and demanded that she be fired. So Steven Spielberg got her fired. And then because Michael Bay did not have a problem with being compared to Hitler, he hired her for a movie that Steven Spielberg wasn't a part of.
That's funny because in Dark of the Moon, I was watching some of the behind the scenes, and all they said was, "Yeah, Megan Fox, she just wasn't working out in this film." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
They said that in behind the scenes footage.
That's why.
That's so weird. Well, we'll get to that in the future. Don't you worry. Our next episode, though, is not going to be a movie review. We are going to do Smash or Pass Transformers Edition.
No!
We're all going to bring our own Transformers to the table, and the others will have to choose Smash or Pass.
You know what I want to do? You know what I want to do with that? I want every single one of us to on every single character like really really consider it, and then every single time the answer is pass, it's a robot.
I might smash. I might smash something. That does sound boring.
By the way, I just pulled up Soundwave and I was like, smash.
Okay, let's wrap it up. I'm dumbjake. Thank you for watching. Where are the other two guys?
We're right here.
You should just.
We're also got T-Fan Page over here.
You should have just been silent. We should have both.
Well, I didn't know what was going on. Hey, I'm T-Fan Page 101, also known as Told Madoom. Go! Don't eat paint.
Hi, I'm PerspectiveEnd. I'm also known as an asshole. Go subscribe to the other two guys.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, please. It'll help us out with old algae rhythm. And if you have an idea for a topic we could do, drop it down in the comments. I'm interested in ideas. Yeah, keep it to yourself, man. Also, I want to know your thoughts on the Transformers 07 movie. Do you hate it like Perspective? Do you love it like Brian? Let me know in the comments. All right. I think that's it, y'all.
Right. Okay, bye. I'm leaving.
Stopping my recordings.